We are less than 2 weeks away from America's 250th anniversary, something every American should want to celebrate. The president, of course, he is laying out plans to celebrate what he is calling a rally to, quote, end all rallies, his latest effort to make the event in his own likeness. But it is coming at a time of war. Americans are struggling financially, and Trump's approval ratings are hitting a low. The group chat is still here. Eddie, you know we're talking about your book because it's the first line of the book. I do not love America, and I never have, especially now. Really?
Yeah. I grew up in Mississippi.
You live a beautiful life.
Yeah, I worked hard for it. And, you know, I think it's important for me to say this. You know, my dad was the second African-American hired at the post office in Pascagoula, Mississippi, afforded the opportunity to move us to the other side of town. I had my Tonka truck outside, playing with those old Tonka trucks with my new friend, and his dad came out and said, stop playing with that N-word. And at that moment, America told me what it thought about me, and I had to go inside, and my parents had to teach me how to survive it. So the question becomes, from whence the expectation, given my formation? And part of what I'm trying to say with that sentence, Stephanie, is that I don't believe in the idolatry of the state. I'm not interested in loving abstractions or things that are so morally dubious that, you know, what we've been talking about. The power of the country is in the people. It's in we the people. It's in everyday folk. That's where my love is, close to the ground. And it's not just with my family, but it's with all the other folks. Ralph Ellison says the most powerful thing about democracy is it's at its best is a disinterested form of love. I want the best for you, even though if I don't know you. And that's not rooted in some abstract idea. You have been traveling the country talking to people about how they feel about this 250th. Yeah, it's divided. You know, what I argue in the book is that America suffers from a kind of divided soul. From the founding, it imagines itself at once as a beacon of freedom and as a white republic. And you can't hold those two things together without contradiction, without depositing a kind of madness at the heart of the country. And we saw that division. Just think about the UFC fight under the claw, and then Barack Obama's opening of the presidential center. You saw those two very different visions of the country. And I'm thinking both of them are kind of trading in the myth, the fantasy. What I want is a more kind of realistic, blues-focused orientation to the past and present, that we're not just simply asserting America's innocence. We acknowledge what we've done so that we can release ourselves into being who we could possibly be. And what does that look like for you? And do you think we could get there in reality? Well, we're reveling in the broad, extraordinary diversity of the country, where we don't have race tagging behind or tethered to every particular policy. I write this sentence in the book. Not everything in the U.S. is about race, but everything is. It's like an inkwell spilled all over the sacred documents of the country. In order to see the principles, you got to hold it up to the light, right? Why? Because everywhere we think, whenever we have this racial hierarchy operating, it distorts and disfigures the principles that undergird, that are the foundation of this democracy, it seems to be. What feelings does this 250th anniversary bring up for you? You've devoted much of your adult life to the American political system.
This is what makes me so angry, because I do love America. I've always loved America, and yet Donald Trump is making it so difficult by trying to hijack this. And, you know, I think this is where we have to decide. We are at a point now where Americans are not just divided about politics. We're divided about the meaning of America. We're dividing about what our history is. And I think the fact that there are many, many Americans who have these mixed feelings, who look at that American flag and have a visceral reaction like, is that my flag anymore? Is that a Trump flag? Is this the birthday of the United States, or is this a celebration of Donald Trump? You know, this is our flag. This is our country, and I do not want him to hijack it. I do not want him to take it away from him. I do not want that man to define what America is. And so I think, and, you know, so this is, Eddie and I have been having this very, very painful conversation here about trying to figure out, you know, what does it mean to be an American? Where are we going? What are our values? You know, are we, you know, do we look at the darkness? Do we look at the aspiration? I don't know. But I think it's important. And you know, we were talking about this. I don't know how I'm going to celebrate July 4th, but I am not going to let them take it away from. And I do think we have one of the divides we have is the people who are intensely interested in politics are going to have these really intensely mixed feelings. I'm hoping the vast majority of Americans who live their lives and understand that it's really about fireworks and cookouts are going to celebrate anyway and screw Donald Trump and his celebration.
All right, we are out of time. What we have to do, Charlie, is just keep standing in the light. Eddie Glaude, Charlie Sykes, Ron Insana.